Okay, so here we have the short string shapes, remembering that we have this relationship between 5, 6 going to 7 root 2 always goes over 1 fret. So this would be an imaginary fret here, like right here. It would be imaginary fret. Doesn't mean it's the fret nut, but it could be the finger bar. If it's the fret nut, you can't play these. Okay, if that's the fret nut, you can play those because you'd be looking at the key of F, and E would be the seventh there. But what I'm saying is this is just a fret line, this is just a fret line, and this is kind of like a shorthand for the string shapes. Remember, with shape fitting, that when we go to 5, 6, we have to go over 7 root 2 like that. The pattern goes over 1, but because of the tuning third between the G and the B, okay, it'll bring that, we have to bring the pattern over 1 to the right anyway. So it goes 1 to the left naturally as the pattern stacks. And if we happen to be on the B string there, the 7 will be brought over to the right back into play from the fret nut. Okay, if the fret nut was, let's say, here, something like that. All right, something like that. So that's what's going on there. So let's play that. Let's look at this. If we're in the key of C here, we're going to start 3, 4, 5, and then to G, 6, 7 root. Remember, 7 root and 3, 4 are half steps. So anytime you see 3, 4, and 7 root, you know they're going to be 1 fret apart. But anything else is a whole step. So it's going to be from the G now, we're going to go around to the D again. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. But guess what? This D is going to stack directly on top of that G. And that's why I've shown these longer patterns, the longer patterns here. This is why I've shown pattern A, pattern B, pattern A on top to show you how they stack straight up. So this 4, this 5, 6 will go straight on top of the 2, 3 there in that particular case. So you got to pay attention to that stuff. Make sure you play around with it. And I'll just show you here on the minor triads here, but just ignore the blacks and the whites. They're not accidentals. The only accidentals, or virtual accidentals, are the lettered. Okay, so just imagine everything else is just a note we're going to look at. So this is how it stacks up. When you go 5, 6, you have to go over to the 7. Because in P4 tuning, this is a major third. So 5 to 7 is a major third. Okay, it suddenly got cold in here again. It's pretty cold outside. It was freezing this morning. We're getting our first taste of winter weather in this, I guess, 23rd, 24th day of November. So I'm going to put this on. Hopefully my sleeve won't mute the strings, or maybe it should. But so we know that we're going to be looking at 2, 3, 4 on the D shape, and then the A shape stacks on top of that. But see how the D shape stacks are directly on top of the G shape? And that's what I was showing you over here. That this D shape goes back directly on top of the G shape. Right? So this G shape would be on top of the C shape there, rather, and the D shape would be on top of the G shape. So this goes directly on top of there, D shape on top of the G shape. It only changes when you go to the A shape and then to the E shape there. You've got this major third. So in P4 tuning, this is a major third diagonally to the left, and a perfect fourth is straight up. So you got root to the 4 as a perfect 4 there. As soon as you get to the G string, you got the tuning third, and you have to play up 1. You have to move the pattern up 1. So if the G string was right there, let's say we would move that pattern up one like that. I don't know, I'm just going to guesstimate what's one note. How far over is one note? Yeah, I'm pretty good at this. I'm getting good at it. It'd be like that. Okay, so if that's the case, and we're looking at a 6-string fretboard, what would we be looking at? We'd be looking at the G box. We'd be looking at the G cage, which has the G string shape on the bottom by definition, and G string shape on the top by definition. We have our lone wolf 7 here because when we did the 5/6 we had to go over. Now this is the way the G box is. No more tuning warp. It's already warped over for us. So how are we going to play that 7? If we're going to start here, let's put Mr. Capo on where your fret nut is. Now we can't get that 7. We can't get that F sharp there in the key of G. We can go 6, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd have to hit that 7 out here. 5, 6, 7. That pretty much takes us into the long pattern. From there we can just play the long pattern. 5, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. So we went from G shape to E shape. 7 root 2. 7 root 2. Right there. 7 root 2 is E shape. You see how we ended up on E shape from G shape, because caged follows the cage word in cage shape positions as you go to the right. So a long pattern is always going to take you up one caged letter. So let's look at the formal long pattern, long string pattern stacks for that major diatonic, right? So we were in the G box. We're going to start with the G letter. Believe me, this is how you do it. You start with the G string shape, whether, if you can. So it's E, C, G, or A. You're going to E, C, D, or G. See how bad I am. You're going to start with that string shaped letter. Okay, so let's say we're looking at an E. E is on the fret nut. E is E. The low E is going to be your E there. That's a root. Okay, so we're going to have to play the long pattern for that E. So instead of playing the E here, we're going to start with this root here. Okay, and the other exception is the 4th. If we're going to start with E as the 4th, E is the 4th of what? There I go with up an octave and down an octave. Okay, E is the 4th of B, the key of B. So if we want to start with E as the 4th of that key of B, and then we would follow the key of B as we go up, like that. From this 4th, it'll be, okay, because we want 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, and here's our 5, 6 with the 7 forming that major third there. It's a major third from 5 to 7. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7 root rather. 7 root 2. Then 3, 4, 5. Then 6, 7 root. Okay, then warp up. 2, 3. E being the 4th once again. Up there, the green note. Alright. 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6. Let's hope we can get that. 2, 3, 4. Alright, here we are. I messed it up. So this would be 5, 6. So our 5 would be the F sharp in the key of